Hello, my name is Graham Hodgson. I'm English Language Director for the British Council in Brazil, and we're here at the LABCI, the Latin American British Cultural Institute's convention in São Paulo, Brazil. And I have with me a very special guest from the British Council, Dr. Zhang Lianzhong, who's come from the China Basic Foreign Language Education Research and Training Center. And we're going to ask Dr. Lianzhong some of his ask for some of his impressions about the LABCI conference and about Brazil. So, welcome to Brazil and to Latin America, your first trip.
This is really my first trip to Latin America. And to me, it takes me with such a big surprise because I had never expected that on the other side of this global hemisphere, and there's something in the old sense is so similar. It's surprisingly nicely similar in a very positive way.
Okay. So it's a small world. Yeah, there are a lot of similarities.
But this is a vast and huge country. It is a whole world. And in many ways, it resembles China. The territory, the people, and the landscape, also the city itself, São Paulo. It strikes me with all this construction of the beautiful buildings. It's very nice.
Great.
One thing which is interestingly surprising to me is, although I don't get much English response from the people I get in touch with, in the street, but anyway, people are so friendly. They smile at you.
Despite the language barrier, people are very welcoming.
So this is really, a smiling city to me. Very nice.
That's a nice description of São Paulo, smiling city. Great. Well, let's move on now to your impressions of the LABCI conference itself. Of course, this is an event of fundamental strategic importance for Latin American countries, because people are coming together from a variety of contexts and realities within Latin America and the Caribbean to discuss government policies, what's being done. Of course, this is all part of a British Council Policy Forum, which is being run in parallel with the LABCI event. So there's really two events going on at the same time. You've had a chance to sit in on the Policy Forum and on the LABCI workshops and plenaries. What have your impressions been?
Yes, I must say this strikes me to be a very important, high-level, academically high-level conference. I've been to different international conferences on ELT and all these sort of things, and this one strikes me to be very, very high level and very impressive. I've been sitting here and I've absorbed so much, and I've learned so much, but still, there's so much coming.
We're only halfway through.
I'm still thinking about a lot of things.
Was there anything in particular that impressed you?
That's why I would say this LABCI one. I think it's mainly for teachers.
Yes.
Teachers from all parts of this area of the world. Right? It struck me with first of all, the conference is so well organized, quite efficient. Just as in conference in the ELT world, this is wonderful.
We have about 1,200 people at the event.
Yes. And the other one is the speakers. You have selected the top rank, very good academics to give different presentations. Most of the talks are so impressive, and they are enlightening and revealing to teachers. This is a very, but I must say I'm most impressed with the teachers. They are participating. They are
asking questions,
and they are. I can see from the response that they are quite well informed. And they know all these basic new development in
terminology
and things. For example, one thing which is still new to us, like in China, is the e-board. But here it seems when the presenter asks the question, which school has got this, and the majority of the audience they raise hands. So that's something really. To me, it's really a big announcement.
Of course, this LABCI event brings together teachers from the Cultura Inglesa Association in Brazil, and it's a characteristic of that particular school that they have a lot of technology, laboratories, and so on. There are other realities in Brazil, of course.
Yes, just as anywhere, right?
Yeah.
But the other thing with this policy part of this LABCI thing, this policy
forum.
Yes. I have to say I really learned so much about this part of the world. Just what's going on in terms of this language teaching, especially English teaching. In different countries, different policies, different situations, different contexts in which things happen and what you can do there.
So far we've had presentations from Argentina, Chile,
Colombia,
Brazil, just now Mexico.
Right. And we have learned really a lot from them. There are quite a few similarities between the situations in my country and their countries.
Can you give us an example?
Yes, for example, basically, for example, the shortage of qualified teachers. I think we have to take it in a very positive way. That means English is much in demand, and English has been recognized as an important subject. Right. Also, it helps to enhance the national soft power of the country. So many of the countries are campaigning to develop in their language program in schools
to become more competitive in the global world.
So in that case, of course, there's a natural shortage of teachers. And I feel happy to see that many of all these countries, they are doing something with the teacher training because of this. But because of this, what I say, the different mechanism of governing, administrating the country, they adopt different methods and different approaches, which is different from my country, which is more centralized.
Well, that leads me to my next question, actually, because you've come a long way to talk to us about the challenges for the future in ELT and specifically about the reality in China. And one of my questions was about how a country the size of China, which in many ways is very similar to the size of Brazil, how the education system in China has been decentralized, maybe giving some of the power to provinces, states, municipalities. How does that work in China?
Okay. Starting from the turn of the century, China, the Chinese government, was starting this campaign of education reform. I mean, the fundamental belief behind it, or the motive behind it, is to realize in this globalized world, before information age, the country needs to change in many different senses, in many different ways. We don't talk about political change.
Sure. In the classroom.
Yes. In a very fundamental way, the way the people, individual people themselves, how they organize themselves in this very more competitive and more challenging world, and also the local, let's say, regions and provinces, how they can find their own motivation to develop faster. So I think we are moving towards from this very much central control kind of system to more autonomous, regionalized, recognizing the regional difference and giving incentive so that the regional government or areas can take responsibility of their own to develop. I think this is something really good and significant.
Not only learner autonomy, but institutional autonomy and government autonomy locally.
Exactly. But starting from this learner autonomy, I think the impact will be felt in 1 or 2 days.
A change of culture.
A change of culture, a change of many of the basic codes of behavior or beliefs. People become more independent, become more self-reliant, become more kind of critical in thinking. And that's all important for China to stay open and change to catch up with the world.
Well, I think there's no doubt that China is not only catching up but overtaking many countries in many ways in terms of not only economic growth but technology and a variety of areas. And I think it would be a wonderful opportunity for maybe Latin American educators to go to China and have a similar experience to what you're having here.